I had a lot of work to do when I came back into this fellowship. I had to get really humble and start just like a little baby all over again and try to figure out what I didn't do, you know. The things that I did that were good for my program and my sobriety, I needed to hang on to those, but there was something missing, and that was honesty and learning how to deal with false pride. You know, admit that, you know, maybe I don't really want to know the answer, but I'd rather know the answer and know what's really going on than to get a resentment. Knowing the truth is always better for me. So, you know, it took me like 4 years to come back into this fellowship, and I learned a lot about resentments. There's no way I can avoid them. We were laughing about it, you know, before we came into this room. There's one way you can avoid resentments, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's very isolated. You lock yourself in your house, you draw your blinds, don't turn on the radio, at least not on the news. Don't turn on the TV. Do not answer your phone. If your neighbors knock on the door, do not answer it. Okay? Don't call out for pizza. Don't have contact with anybody at all. Now, you would think that that would be a way to avoid resentment, right? No, because I'm locked up with myself. And the minute I do something that I don't think meets up to my expectations, I'm going to resent myself, and there I am. So, avoiding resentments is pointless for me to even consider trying. I go to God every day before I get out of bed. I do not leave my bed without praying, because I'm a very busy person. When I get going, I'm like really busy, you know? And that would be scary for me. So I literally just right over and I start praying. Usually I start out with my gratitude list, because I have so much to be grateful for. There's people that are dying out there, and I could have been one of them. God gave me another chance. You know, I deal with a physical situation which doesn't make me happy every day, you know, and a lot of other things in life now that are very challenging. But the difference is I take God with me every single day before I even leave my bed. I ask Him to give me that 10 seconds of sanity. You know, if somebody says something, before I rip them or get the silent treatment and get that resentment, give me that 10 seconds of sanity to please think it through first. You know, it works a lot. It doesn't work all the time, though, and I still get resentments. But what I do with them today is a lot different. You know, I don't hide behind them. I don't hang on to them. You know, today I try to get rid of them as soon as I can. One way I found to get rid of my resentments the easiest is through forgiveness. And not expecting anything out of anybody else that I wouldn't expect out of myself. And to work on my side of the street instead of looking at somebody else's so much. Because it all starts with me. And God really helps me a lot with that. I wanted to mention there is a couple passages about that too, and that's one of the things that really helped me in dealing with my resentments and getting rid of them. And it's Mastering Resentments, and that's out of the big book on page 66 and 67. It says, "We began to see that the world and its people had really dominated us. Under that unhappy condition, the wrongdoing of others, fancied or real, had power to actually kill us, because we could be driven back to drink through resentment. We saw that these resentments must be mastered, but how? We could not wish them away. This was our course. We realized that the people who wronged us were perhaps spiritually sick. So we asked God to help us show them the same tolerance, pity, and patience that we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. Today, we avoid retaliation or argument. We can't treat sick people that way. If we do, we destroy our chance of being helpful. We cannot be helpful to all people, but at least God will show us how to take a kindly and tolerant view of each and every one. And that means each and every one I come in contact with. So it's going to be an ongoing process the rest of my life. I am so grateful that I had an opportunity to come back into this program. I'm standing here with like 1 year, 7 months, and 7.5 hours sobriety or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's quality this time. The mask is gone. I don't have to hide behind a mask anymore. I don't have to walk around pretending like I'm happy, happy, joy, joy when I'm not. I don't have to blow things up to where I'm miserable either, though. You know, I can find a balance in there somewhere, and that's only through God. It's only through practicing, you know, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, especially the house cleaning steps, admitting who I am, what I need to work on. And by doing that, I've had to say that this, especially the past year, has been the happiest year of my life. I started battling cancer again the second time in 2004. And I was drinking at that time, and I realized how precious life really is. It's so short. Nobody has a guarantee. That's just my personal mountain to climb. We all have one. That's just mine. But I realized that I don't want to sit and waste every day. I don't want to waste any day. And I don't want to waste a part of a day. And I recalled something that my original sponsor told me. She had a mad meter. And it helps me a lot until I can get to a quiet place and get with God. And her mad meter was, she knows she's going to get mad sometimes, so she allows herself 10 minutes. And she gets good and mad, and then she turns it over. And she lets it go. And she asks God to allow her to forgive that person and to forgive herself for her part in it. And she takes her own responsibility for it. And I'm just trying to emulate that in my life. So I'll never be able to avoid resentments. I know that that's the topic in here, but I have no answer to that. I just know that I'm much happier now that I've learned how to deal with them. Thank you.
Thank you.